Honestly, Labour are on another planet. In my opinion, especially over the last decade or more, they have always hated our armed forces. And they've always sided with other groups over protecting our armed forces. And now they are taking it a step too far. They are banning the Legacy Act that will give immunity to our soldiers from the Troubles and other conflicts. Because once you open it up to this, it opens it up to every conflict. They want to go back 30, 40, 50 years to prosecute SAS soldiers, and this will open it up to other soldiers to prosecute them for apparently alleged crimes that they committed in the Troubles. Our veterans are not safe anymore. You do one of the most dangerous, high-pressure jobs in the world. The Special Air Service, the SAS, are the most professional, elite and highly respected special forces unit in the world. Multiple countries have adopted their special forces off ours. Even America's Delta Force. But now, once again, the current government, Labour, want to go after our veterans and serving special forces soldiers to prosecute them for apparently alleged crimes. And we've seen this multiple times now, where apparently soldiers have committed murder on operations, and it always comes back as a false allegation and people trying to get money. We're going to watch a little video bit. We'll see Nigel Farage explain it. We'll break it down. But let's think of the Troubles, the Good Friday Agreement, all the prisoners that released, slate wiped clean. What happens to all of those over in Ireland that committed the crimes? How comes they're not now being investigated? Let's have a look, see what Nigel Farage says, and comment below what your thoughts are.
Hey, Nigel Farage from the House of Commons. Mr. Farage, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have your company. Tell me, are we any step nearer tonight to getting that much-needed amnesty for British veterans?
No, it's extraordinary. I mean, the 23 Legacy Act from the Conservative Party, the one flaw, as I see it, is the Human Rights Act. But at least there was an attempt to draw a line under things that happened 30, 40, 50 years ago. Quite why the Labour Party want to stir up this hornet's nest is beyond me. Do you know, I met someone today who served in the British Army for over 40 years, who is now being hounded, who has been, at 7 o'clock in the morning, taken out of his house by the police. What on earth are we doing? And the rumours are there are 4 more big cases.
Can you imagine that? 40 years in our armed forces. So you're talking most probably 58 years old plus, being dragged from his house and having to recall operations that happened years ago.
It's disgusting.
When if there was an unlawful act, should have been dealt with at the time.
And they might even go back to Malaya in 1954. This is the hounding of men who've given their lives and served in the British Army. And you know something? Forget Northern Ireland today. Think about Northern Ireland 30, 40, 50 years ago. This was a bloody, awful, horrible place. Thousands killed, tens of thousands wounded. It was a horrible place. And the job of the British Army was to stop the terrorists.
And that's that. It was a horrible situation. Too many lives lost, too many people injured. We've all got to agree on that. We wish it never happened. But the government sent in the British Army to do a job. And now the government wants to send them to court and happy to work with the other side to possibly prosecute them for sending him in for doing that job. I honestly swear the Labour government hate our armed forces. They would love to get rid of them if they could. And this is why SAS soldiers are now threatening to sue Labour over this bill. Bearing in mind this bill, the other day, I think it was yesterday, it got voted in, it's still got a couple more stages, but 320 votes to 105 votes, I think. That's how many MPs are going for it. It is literally like mind-boggling how our government hate the UKSF, the guys who actually keep them safe. Because if it wasn't for them, they wouldn't be able to do their job. They wouldn't be able to sleep safely at night. There wouldn't be all these terror attacks not being committed, because they would be happening all over the place. It's these guys going around doing it, protecting them, and now they want to do them over.
Can't believe how they're treating our veterans.
And some of these cases are so clear-cut, it's almost unbelievable. Quite why Labour want to alienate the entirety of the veterans community in Britain is beyond me.
Well, Nigel Farage, many in the veterans community not only think they are being persecuted, but it's having a huge impact on present and future recruitment. I had a SAS general on my show last Friday who said this is terrible. Nobody wants to stand up for the ultimate regiment, the elite regiment on the planet, for fear of being prosecuted for a split-second decision simply following orders.
Well, think about this. With the relationship with the Americans, and by the way, without the Americans, we are defenceless. Our special...
That's true, we are. Small, little battle maybe, send out UKSF on their own, but they work very closely with America. Any sort of major war kicks off, we need the Americans.
Forces are just about now...
Well, nobody said that World War I or World War II were
genuinely.
War.
100% respect.
And
that is now called into question, into doubt. I am told, and I spoke to somebody currently serving in the SBS last week, that morale within the regiments is absolutely appalling. And as for recruitment, why on earth would you do the job? It's a disaster. And think about a combat situation. You know, we send our guys in to a dangerous situation, and if in the back of their mind is, can I act as I believe to be correct, to protect myself and my colleagues and do what's right, or do I hesitate for a moment? Well, think about that in a combat situation.
And Nigel Farage is so correct there. I couldn't really give you an update on recruitment, but he's saying he has spoke to a serving SBS operator. Morale is low. Recruitment is down. How does that look for our armed forces? How does that look for our national security? And he's right. Who would want to go to a unit where, yes, you get to do the best job in the armed forces,
put a soldier in it,
but then you've got the constant fear of being prosecuted. And they have to make these split-second decisions. You're going into a building, man pops up in front of you, you believe you see a weapon pointing at you, you've got a split second to make that decision. It's you or him.
Oh, these
but you
fucking
hesitate
wankers
because you think,
have the
if I
balls
pull
for
that
it.
trigger, am I going to go to jail? Instead of
My
before,
fucking
it was like, he's got a weapon, pull the trigger. I believe there's an immediate threat to life. So it was proportionate, necessary and reasonable to take the action that I did. But now it happens, and it's happening to serving soldiers, and it's happened to our veterans, especially in the UKSF, but we've seen it within the conventional forces as well. It's happened way too often, and for some reason, the Labour government are on side with it all. And I do not blame the SAS veterans, so in here,
you know, going out and
so
laying
it's,
wreaths of poppies.
a letter by the
wankers.
Special Air Service Regimental Association representing serving and former Special Forces troops was sent to Northern Ireland Secretary Hilary Benn to warn the legislation does not provide adequate
A lot of them, they're
safeguards
all
for
wankers.
veterans.
All of them.
Why is
Every
it
single
everyone
fucking
else can
one
be
of them.
safeguarded, everyone else can be looked after, but when it comes to the public, when it comes to our veterans, they're just happy to do whatever they can to throw them under the bus. Labour withdrew plans to introduce a Legacy Act by the previous Conservative government, which would grant immunity to Northern Ireland veterans. Bearing in mind, currently Northern Ireland veterans, Afghanistan and Iraq, still very, very fresh. What's going to happen in 20, 30, 40 years? Are we now going to bring up all the operations then? What happened then? Are we then going to start prosecuting, you know, everyone who went to Afghanistan? What you did is going to be pulled up. Once this happens, you open it up to every conflict. New plans include
Trying to make sure we don't have an army.
Trouble-related killings. Okay, what about the other side? What about what happened to our soldiers, to our
Next
veterans?
they'll be picking on Navy,
Critics have warned
then
that
they'll
it would
be picking
expose
on Air
veterans to
Force.
fictitious legal
So
claims
we've
and
got no
potentially
left.
elderly former soldiers brought through courts, like Soldier F here, in his 70s.
Because people
his
are not going to want to
70s.
join up, are they?
Had to be dragged
know,
through court.
if
Something that
in
happened
40 years' time they're
50
going to get
years ago.
fucking dragged up in court.
Honestly, crazy. We need to support our veterans. We need to support our serving soldiers. We need to look after our own. If they won't, we need to make sure we do. Give them the support that they need.
How?
Hopefully, those
What
veterans
do we
don't get
do?
dragged through the muds, but
Say,
it looks like they will be. And
we
it looks
support
like
you,
the
and that's
government
it.
are not
But,
going to
you know,
protect them.
what do we say? What do we do?
They're
Come
not
on.
going to protect them. I'd love to see those in our current government
We're
put in
not
a
army.
situation like that.
We don't know what to
Say
do.
Northern Ireland, Afghanistan. when
So,
the counter-terrorism
somebody from the
operation
army
clearing
needs
a
to tell
building,
us what we need to do.
They wouldn't even handle the training. I'd have to see them do 1 day's worth of training with UKSF.
They won't handle it.
Just do 1 day.
They couldn't
Go
do it.
down there, see what they do.
Try and get them to do
They
10
wouldn't
press-ups.
last an
They wouldn't be able
hour.
to do that.
An hour. But they're happy to use them, send them away when they want to. But then when they get a little bit of pressure from other sides, they just absolutely crumble. Stand up for our veterans, stand up for our serving soldiers, because if you don't, we will have no armed forces left. And then national security really will be under
How
threat.
do we, the general public,
Thanks for watching.
help?
Don't forget to head over to Combat Ready HQ, check
Tell
out our
us.
t-shirts and our coffee. Shout out to all our members and all of you that supported the channel, viewed, liked, shared and commented. And I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.